Hello and welcome to Nick V Uncensored. Today we've got Van Win, and today we're going to be talking about how PMF has been the overlooked frequency that can heal your body, and we're going to dive into this today. They call it the pulse of nature. The PMF restores your energy field as well as the body. Van, thank you so much for joining me. How are you, and what have you been up to?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much, Nicholas, for having me on today. I'm excited to talk more about PEMF. Honestly, what we've been doing is breaking free from the system, especially with our health.
Absolutely. Because for the last God knows how long, 50, 60, 70 years, we get ill, we go to the doctor, they prescribe us synthetic, you know, components, elements into the body, and we just get ill and ill and ill, and we're making them billions of dollars. But obviously, there's alternative health. This is what this platform's about. It's bringing people like yourselves and others that can give alternative truth, natural healing, and this is where we want to go with it today. I've never heard of PEMF health frequency. This is new to me as well. So, how do you explain that, to somebody that has never heard about it before?
Yeah, you know what's funny? I heard about energy healing for quite some time, done different things, but as you know, if you get into deeper into holistic healing, there's so many different frequencies. And the funny thing is, I got deeper into PEMF about a year ago, and it was because a friend introduced me to a product that actually offered PEMF. And so, of course, me being who I am, I started researching and looking it all up and realizing that obviously this has been around for quite some time, and it's been and for myself and you, Nicholas, and even your audience, the FDA really is not an entity that we really care about. However, what it did do was when it went into FDA approval as a form of a treatment, it opened up the doors for tons of clinical studies to be done on the frequency of PEMF. And there's been a lot of positive results that have come out of it, where essentially PEMF, it mirrors the effects kind of like electricity, like grounding. You know, if anyone's familiar with natural healing, we're supposed to be barefoot, touching the earth, because there are magnetic fields and energy that our body needs to operate, because we are essentially all energy. And so when I was digging deep, essentially it mirrors similarities to like a grounding effect, where it's frequency that goes into your system and it recharges your cells. And because of that, we're noticing a lot of health benefits that people are experiencing overall, just utilizing devices, or, med spas offer these giant beds that you could lay in. I know this is popular across Europe, but I will tell you, for me, as I dug deep into PEMF, it essentially is a frequency that when it goes through your body, it actually recharges your cell. It encourages cell growth, and it encourages gene activity towards tissue repair.
Right, right. And this is what the FDA said as well, right?
Yes, yes. It's
Yeah.
been, again, FDA approved as a form of a treatment since 1979. And so when I was researching PEMF, there was nothing but positive experiences towards people utilizing a low frequency style device of PEMF.
Interesting. And so when you have PEMF frequencies, um, I don't want to say attack the body, but help the body, or it has contact with the body, and then it promotes cell growth, gene repair, as the FDA says as well. Um, what then happens to the body when it has, other mainstream problems that we don't want to talk about on YouTube, because we want to be very sensible? um, so let's talk about that. Can it go backwards? Can it restore itself? Can it heal itself after naturally?
I think essentially what we have to understand, for me personally, I'm going to say I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical profession. What I'm sharing with you guys is based on my own experiences of just working with biotech labs, doctors, MD, PhDs. At the end of the day, what we know is what is evident in the market is that there are tons of chemicals that are on our food, that are in the ground. We know this because there's massive lawsuits against certain companies that are spraying our foods with toxins. There are patents that are proving things are being sprayed in the air that isn't necessarily great for our body. And you have to understand that naturally our bodies are designed to heal itself. But then when you start factoring in what man has done, which is these chemicals, these toxins, the things that are being sprayed in the air, put in our food, put onto the ground, we're absorbing all of it, right? And so you have to wonder, why are our bodies not functioning properly? It could be a factor of many things. It could be our overall health, how we are treating our body. But then there's other factors that we cannot control, like I had mentioned. And you imagine it being that those things could possibly be a part of the reason why your body cannot do what it knows how to do. Just like the immune system, right? We have an immune system for a reason. When pathogens enter our body and starts to attack it, that's the point of an immune system, is to fight against those pathogens. Unfortunately, when it's weakened, whether it's due to illness or other factors that are preventing it to perform at its optimal level, this is why I believe society is encountering things that we naturally would not encounter if man didn't get involved. And so when you think about PEMF and even eating a healthier diet, what is it really designed to do for the body? It's essentially recharging our cells. It's helping our body get back to its optimal level. This is why people take supplements. People are into anti-inflammatory. They're into physically exercising because they know blood circulation and things like that is healthy overall, that the body needs in order to support the organs to do what the organs are supposed to do internally to externally then exude the healthiest version of you, right? And so, in my opinion, what is this doing that since I've experienced PEMF, overall, we're witnessing people's well being going to its optimal level. You know, it's encouraging people to feel better. And when you feel better, you decide to make better decisions, in my opinion, right? It's like working out. You know, in the very beginning, you're working out and you're not really noticing any results, but you're staying consistent to the activities that you know that's going to create the result. And then when you step on the scale and maybe you notice some weight has gone down, it then incentivizes and excites you to continue on this path. And so that's how I see what it is with things like PEMF, is that when you're recharging your cell like a battery, right? If your battery is drained and you recharge it, how are you operating as a device? Just like as a human, we go how many years on this earth that we're not understanding the grounding effects. We're not understanding that our bodies are made out of energy, so we're not recharging it. So imagine yourself utilizing a frequency that actually mirrors what your body needs in energy, and then it's recharging your cells. How do you think your energy level is going to feel? How do you think your brain cognitive health is going to look through time? And then, of course, like I mentioned, if your body's recharged, what does the rest of your body, what is it acting like? Because you're going and you're working on a drained battery and then you're recharging it. You know, the things that I've been witnessing for myself, and of course, the people that I'm sharing PEMF with, has been incredible to see that their overall well-being has turned around or dramatically increased to a better result.
I like that turned around word. That's a very good word for YouTube and for the FDA. um, now, you know, you mentioned about PEMF frequency, how it's like grounding, isn't it? You said.
Mhm.
If it's like grounding, would you say the frequency itself is like Mother Earth frequency? Is it a natural frequency that is produced or radiates by Earth, which is what, you
Yeah.
know, yeah. And because we're part of the Earth, because you know this body that we have is was born and dies on Earth, so it's definitely part of the Earth. And obviously, this is why we need to ground, and this is why these frequencies are great, and it can turn around. I also think that there's a big chance that it also strengthens your gut intuition, your vagus nerve that's connected to the pineal gland, which enhances your internal connection with yourself. What do you think about that?
You know, it hasn't been proven, but I can honestly say that I wouldn't doubt it overall. Meaning, I want to go back to what you said about like it kind of being a part of Mother Earth. Actually, NASA discovered PEMF. because what they discovered when astronauts were coming back from space, and again, the audience, depending on how you feel about space and whether you believe in it or not, of people going out there, I will just kind of say the baseline of the story of what
Yeah.
NASA said, that when the astronauts were coming back, they were noticing that bone loss, bone density issue, and so they actually discovered PEMF was something of a part of a part of Earth, that they realized that when they were in space, they weren't getting that frequency. And so they utilized PEMF as a treatment for the astronauts to restore their bone density and then, of course, help with the muscle atrophy. And so sharing that, I absolutely believe that anything that has been suppressed, like what you were talking about, the vagus nerve and so many other things, that man, whether it's due to the chemicals, the toxins, and the different things and ways that they process and create our food nowadays, I truly believe if you get your body what it needs, everything starts to reverse and restore itself, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I can't say with a definite that it's doing all that. But it just, to me, it's like it's common sense. When you are
Yeah.
giving your body what it needs, you'll naturally know that it will perform at the level that it knows how to perform.
Absolutely. And when we do a lot of research, there's a lot of research out there that will say to you, well, it hasn't been proven in science.
Hmm.
But I've come to the belief now that just because science hasn't proven it doesn't mean it's not true either. Because science is limited. For an example, science cannot prove love, right?
Exactly.
So there's a lot of things that, science cannot prove that you have a gut feeling or you have this vision that something's going to happen. And then it happens exactly like that after a few days. So science can't understand that. And this is why I think science stops where our natural form begins,
Yeah.
our true form. And that's very interesting. And I think with grounding, I think connecting to yourself, I think, in my opinion, I think that that's a very big thing for intuition. Um, yeah. So I'm going to share a link today with the viewers. What is it? What is it that you'd like to share in that link that you're going to give me, Van? And what is it that you'd like to share with the viewers today?
Yeah, before I kind of answer that
Yeah,
question, Nick,
yeah.
I just wanted to add to what you said. I absolutely agree with you that I'm not someone that really cares about the science of things. I think that's kind of like the social norm of what people accept as evidence. But I think it's been very clear, especially the last several years, that science is dependent upon the person delivering the message. Because you
Mm,
can say, I discovered that this, and here are the evidence. And then you'll have a different person that will say, well, I have conflicting findings and I'll present you the evidence of this, and that. And the sheer fact of the matter is there's just things that are black and white that science somehow said they were able to prove it's not black and white. So to me, I wanted to convey this on this before I answered your question, because genuinely, I understand the difference between fact and fiction. However, for the last several years, it's been proven that scientific findings is not even truthful anymore. It's all
mm,
about an agenda. So
hmm.
here's what I can tell you from experience. What we're going to share in the link is essentially it's a PEMF device that we discovered, and it you can purchase one to bring home to your house and have the ability to have the grounding effect conveniently from home. And that's really the main thing that I've been focusing on for this past year is overall, how do I restore my own body so that it allows my body to do what naturally God has designed it to do, right? Without the impact of man and all these outside factors, if our body was where it needed to be, all those factors wouldn't come into play. And so what you'll discover in this link is just a device. It actually emits PEMF. The company that generated this device actually has over 167 patents around how they built this to make it convenient. And all you have to simply do is put your feet on the device for 20 to 30 minutes a day, and it will give you blood circulation experience as if you were at the gym for at least 45 minutes. And to me, that is incredible because in today's world, people honestly sometimes just don't have the time to be physically active. You're stuck at a desk for 9 to 10 hours a day trying to make an income to live in a very expensive world. And by the time you get home, you're just completely exhausted. And then there's just some people that physically cannot be very active. And we discovered this device, and it's been a game changer, not only for myself, but our entire family and everyone that we get them to experience this product. They've noticed a turnaround in their overall well being. And so that's honestly what you're going to discover on this. It is an incredible device. Again, if you look up PEMF, it is literally the sleeping giant in holistic healing. Tons of med spas are bringing it over from Europe because it's everywhere in Europe. And they're bringing it over, especially into America, because I think Americans specifically, we're getting on trend of what Eastern medicine has been talking about for a very, very long time. And we're slowly starting to realize that the things we were taught as children, that these big entities told us, like the food pyramid and all these things that we're supposed to do in order to stay healthy, really isn't healthy anymore. And so it really is our responsibility to take our own health back in our own hands, because I think in the last several years, we're witnessing the corruption of what money really does. And the money is always the most important factor to these giant entities. It's not the human, it's not our health. It's been proven time and time again that they'll take the paycheck over truly providing the advice that us humans need in order for us to stay at our most optimal level with our overall well-being.
No, absolutely. Very well said. And I'm going to leave the link below in the description. So do click the link below, try it out and let us know what you think on the website, testimonials, reviews, or in the comments below. But no, that's amazing. This is where the future is, and this is, this has been hidden from humanity. And there's a shift in consciousness, in awareness, and I can see that this is where we're moving to. But Van, thank you very much for sharing everything with us today. And I just want to say, because we're on YouTube, and I want to just say this for the guidelines, that we're not giving any health advice. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. So we're not making any claims. Please do your research. And Van, is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish?
No, the only thing I want to say is I encourage you guys, what Nicholas said, do your research on PEMF. Guys, I spent weeks and just researching all of this before I decided to make the decision to really try out any products in general of PEMF. And I wanted to ensure that whatever I was going to do for my body overall was going to be healthy. So yes, I encourage you, take Nicholas's advice, research PEMF. And if you are open to the idea of breaking away from the system and truly allowing to get our bodies back to where it's supposed to be, where it naturally is functioning and optimizing our own well-being, then I encourage you guys continue down that path of freedom away from the system.
I love that word, freedom and sovereignty. Absolutely. Van, thank you very much. And we'll speak again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.